This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Good morning, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Abam. Hope everybody had a easy fast. The Avodas Yisrael Kajinsa Magid says that after Tisha B'Av, when there was an Isser of Talmud Torah, so we have Parshas Vaschanan, which is Kabbalah HaTorah, be have to be Makabel Torah anew. So now that we had a little bit of a hiatus with the Mishna Berura, we also need a new Kabbalah HaTorah. If everyone would kindly mute. Thank you. Okay, so we're up to Siman Yud Aleph. We're up to Sivav. Im asam mitzemer gazol psulim. If you made tzitzis out of stolen wool, they're pasul. D'chsiv v'asu lahem. You should make it from yours, mishalahem. Hagaz, says Rama, the davka shegazal hachutin. That's only if you stole the strings. Avlam gazal tsemer, but if you stole the wool vasan chutin and you made strings ksherim. Now that's certainly not what the mechaber is mashma. The mechaber is mashma. If you made it from stolen wool, what does that sound like? You stole the string, it sounds like you stole the wool. But the Rama is explaining it that only when you stole the string. But if you stole the wool and you made it strings, it's kosher. But you cannot make it out of stolen wool. Inyan bracha, regarding a bracha, now obviously, if you stole the string, you can't make a bracha, but regarding stolen wool, ayin lekaman reish siman taf reish mem tes. Okay, says the Mishna Berura, lahem mishalahem. Nira pashat, tehu adinim lakach hatzitzis b'hakafa. Let's say you bought the tzitzis on credit. V'hamoicher oyel v'nafik azuzi. And the seller is trying to collect. V'zeineros hashamloi. And you don't want to pay. The medina einam shalom. Medina, it's not yours. Kedis v'chashmish siman kov tzadi. Ayin sham. V'chol kahai gavna. Im kein lo yatsa min adin ba'at tzitzis. You're not yotze the tzitzis. So it's not only where you stole the string. You bought the string. So the guy says, oh, your credit card's not working. You said, put on my tab. Fine. So the store owner calls you. Pay up. No, I can't. I don't really owe you the money. You owe me money. I invited you to my house 2 weeks ago. So if the guy if you don't want to pay up, it's not your tzitzis, you're not your tzitz mitzvah. Comes the Rama, and the Rama says, V'davka, it's only when you stole the string. And says the Mishna Berura, V'dav v'oz afilu nisyashu abaylam pasol. When you sell the string, then even if the owner gives up hope from getting it back, it's pasul. The yirsh loy kani, yirsh is not a kinyan. You're not kind by yirsh. V'afilu im loy hayachutin shazurin. Even if the strings were not twisted, v'hu shazaran, and you were the one who twisted it. Mikol makom loy chashav ayidei zashinoi. The shazira is not considered a shinoi. The loy nishtana shemam al yidei kach. The name of the entity doesn't change because of it, says the Pri Megadim. Now, the Rama said only if you steal the strings is it pasul, not if you steal the wool. Says Mishna Berura, Ayin b'Magen Avram Sivkatan Yod. Look in the Magen Avram Sivkatan Yod. U'dvarav hagazu choylek ala mechaber. The svirle the hakram miyet afilu im asa hachutin mitzamer gazal. The Magen Avram says that the Rama argues on the mechaber. Okay, good. Baruch Hashem, I read the Shulchan Aruch correctly. In other words, we read the Shulchan Aruch that if you make it out of wool, it's pasul. And the Rama said, no, that only if you stole the string. So he said, that's not what the Mechaber says. The Mechaber is talking about the wool. So that's taka how the Magen Avram learns it. And that the Mechaber holds the pasuk is mamayit, even if you made the string from tzemer gazel, it's also pasul. Okay? And I think that's the simple reading of the Mechaber. That the Rama is not really explaining the Mechaber. The Rama is disagreeing with the Mechaber. But if you made it, the Rama holds, if you made it from stolen wool, it's kosher. Says the Mishna Berura, Kesherim, Hataz Mevaer, the Taz explains that the Iri HaRama, the Rama is talking about, Hechi Dahav Yish Gamkein. The Rama is talking about where there is Yish also. In other words, you know when the Rama holds that if you steal wool, and you make it into a string, it's kosher. That's only if the owner gave up hope. So you're koined v'kanya b'yush, you're koined with yush v'shinoi Hashem, and the fact that the entity changed his name. Demei karat semer, in the beginning it's wool, v'hashda chutin, and now it's a string. So the Ramah that says that when you steal wool, it's kosher, the Ramah is talking about only in a scenario where there's also yush. Aval HaMagen Avram Kasav, the Magen Avram writes, the Midasasam HaRamah, from the fact that the Ramah didn't say, I'm talking about where there's yush, Mashra Desirle, Dafilu Kaidam yush kosher. It's Mashra Yos, even before yush is kosher. Now the Magen Avram is of the opinion that the Mechaber holds that if you steal wool, it's puzzle, even with yush. Meaning, the Mechaber says if you steal wool, the string, and you make strings, it's puzzle. The Magen Avram would say even with yush. But the Mechaber, but the Ramah, who holds that if you steal wool and you make strings, it's kosher, the opinion of the Magen Avram is even without yush. The afilu koidem yush is kosher. The kanya b'shinoi maisa. You're koined through this shinoi maisa v'chein masham mehagra bebiuroi tahash tamhu misham shinoi maisa ayin sham. So let's get straight the various opinions. The Mechaber, according to Magen Avram, is saying that if you steal wool and you make strings, it's puzzle. The Ramah says, no, only when you steal the string is a puzzle. But if you steal the wool, then it's going to be kosher. The Taz is of the opinion it's only kosher where there's yush also. You need yush and shinoi maisa, then it's kosher. The Mechaber would say it's puzzle even with yush. And the Ramah is saying it's kosher with yush, and the Magen Avram goes so far that the Ramah holds it's kosher even without yush. Vim gazal chutin, if you stole the strings, umecharan la'achar lefnei yush. Now, very interesting. Let's say you stole the strings and you sold to someone before yush. Now, in this case, you don't have shinoi maisa. You stole the string. The only thing you have is shinoi reshus. Lo yatsa shinoi bat tzitzis. The shinoi reshus below yish lo kana. Even though shinoi maisa, according to the Ramah, is kaina without yish, shinoi reshus without yish is not kaina. V'lo karina beva asulahem. That's not called. You should make for yourself, says the Pri Megadim. Now, what if you have shinoi reshus and then yush? If after it came into the hands of the second guy, the bailam were mayayish, ayin b'choshe mishva v'siman shinun gimel sev gimel diyesh deus b'zeh, various opinions. V'im nisyashu, but if the owner gave up hope, v'achar kach mecharan, and then the guy who stole it sold it, so then you have yush and shinoi reshus kana sheni as tzitzis. And even regarding the bracha, v'yafl inyan bracha, mashma me'am Magen Avram, b'siman tafresh me'am tesif katan beis, do you chalavarch b'zeh? From the Magen Avram, it's mashma, you can make a bracha, v'ein bo misham mitzvah abba ba'avera, this would not constitute mitzvah abba ba'avera, kivan shuhu loy gazal, because he didn't steal it. In other words, a guy stole it, the owner gave up hope, and then he sold it. And the second guy can make a bracha because he didn't steal it. V'chein pasuk machzor shekel. Achein ha-Pri Megadim sham b'shem alavush machmer b'zeh. Pri Megadim is machmer v'gam ataz v'chavhei v'agrasha machmirim b'zeh. They are also machmer. Now, l'chatchila, the Ramah said, even though if you steal wool and you made strings, it's kosher. And again, the Taz says it's kosher with yush, and the Magen Avram says even without yush. But l'chadchila you shouldn't make them. You shouldn't l'chadchila make the tzitzis. Mishum mitzvah haba ba'avera, because it's a mitzvah haba ba'avera. V'ayin beber halacha. Now the Taz says we're talking about where there's also yush. So then the Rama was saying, L'chachila, you can't make them. The Magen Avram says we're talking about without Yush. Could you L'chatchila make it if the owner was Miyayish? We don't know in the Magen Avram. Siman Tafresh Memtes, the Pasak Sham, the Rama says, look, in Siman Tafresh Memtes, where there we paskin, the Einu Yachal Avarech, that if you stole an item and you have Shinoi Maisa, so even though you're Yotz to the mitzvah, but l'chachila you can't make it out of it, and you shouldn't make a bracha. V'ayim b'shari tshuva ube'er halacha. My Rabbi said we're going to hold it over here. Good to see everybody. Bracha v'atzlacha. Have a great day. Kol tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.